Good afternoon. Teshome Gabriel, not unlike Dean Terry Schwartz, was the second person I met at UCLA when I started as Dean of TFT. That was over 20 years ago. I met him outside the building in the sculpture garden. It was one of so very many meetings I had with Teshome. Never in the office, always outside. I think the only time I met him in an office was for a departmental meeting. It's odd, although in retrospect it seems right. We were, as my friend and colleague Nick Brown says, nomadic friends. We met, as I suspect many of you did as well, on the way to meetings, coming back from meetings, going to lunch, going home. Each unplanned meeting developed a narrative of its own. There was a beginning, a middle, an end or resolution, although frequently not in that order. Once he told me of an ancient Ethiopian queen named Judith. That's my wife's name. Evidently, she wasn't a very nice woman. My wife, he offered, and obviously I agreed, was a nice woman. So the conclusion was, you really can't tell a book by its cover. Another time, he told me of a film directed by a young third world film director that he had just showed to his class. It was about some children who would run away from a dangerous spot. The director had photographed an empty piece of earth, and the children were afraid of it. Teshome's students didn't understand why the empty piece of earth was so frightening. Frankly, neither did I. Teshome explained that there had been a dangerous snake on that very spot earlier, and the children were afraid of snakes. When his students and I, now being one of them, asked, and by the way, this was in front of Murphy Hall, how we were to know that a snake had been in that spot before, Teshome answered knowingly, why else, he asked, would they be running away? I kind of understood, but I certainly knew that Teshome did. My friend Teshome was really a sweet man. His was no heart of darkness. His interest in what you were doing was both refreshing and sincere. Teshome only talked about himself when you pushed him into it. He ruminated a good deal. He liked to ruminate about the world, the campus, our school, his students, friends, and family. He liked to look at things from all sides, and I suspect was always thoughtful and careful before he came to a conclusion. And there was great reassurance in that. I always felt safe and secure when talking to him, like he had an opinion, he was comfortable with it, but would change if you could prove otherwise. Now, how unique is that? I like to think of Teshome somewhere else today. I mean, but not in any place particular, more or less walking around, spreading warmth and light, teaching, explaining, but more to the point, knowing. And now I'd like to introduce Claudia Mitchell-Kernan, who is Vice Chancellor and Dean for Graduate Studies and the former director of UCLA's Center for Afro-American Studies, and a good friend of Teshome's, and if I might add, a really wonderful woman. Claudia?